The phone rang from the grave. It started like any other quiet night. The rain was falling in a slow rhythm, tapping against the cracked window of Daniel's old wooden house. He sat near the fireplace, scrolling through his phone, lost in thought. The house smelled of damp wood and memories he didn't want to remember. It had been 6 months since his mother's funeral. He hadn't spoken to anyone since, until his phone rang that night. The name flashing on the screen made his blood turn cold. Mom. At first, Daniel froze. His fingers trembled as the familiar ringtone echoed through the room. The sound pierced through the silence, stretching the seconds like a scream. His first thought was that someone was playing a cruel trick. But this was his mother's old number, disconnected after her death. He had watched the phone being buried with her. So how could it be calling him now? He tried to rationalize it. Maybe someone cloned the number. Maybe it was some technical glitch. But when he answered, all logic shattered. The line was silent for a few seconds, then came a faint whisper. Danny. The voice was soft, trembling, and filled with pain. It was hers. The same tone she used when waking him up for school years ago. It's cold down here. Daniel dropped the phone. His heart was racing so fast he could barely breathe. He wanted to believe he imagined it. But the phone kept ringing again and again, each time louder, sharper, almost desperate. The same contact, Mom. Each ring dragged him deeper into panic. He turned off the phone, threw it against the wall, and sat shaking. But the ringing didn't stop. It echoed from the broken device, glowing faintly on the floor. Desperate, he answered again. Who is this? He shouted. There was no response, only the sound of shovels scraping dirt. And distant sobbing. Then came words that froze him completely. You shouldn't have left me alone, Danny. His vision blurred. He felt the air around him turn icy. The fireplace flickered. Then went out, leaving him in darkness. Daniel stumbled to the door, trying to escape. But the knob felt slick, wet, like fresh soil. His shoes squished into the floor, now muddy and soft. A smell filled the room, rotting flowers and earth. His mother's funeral scent. He turned around. And in the faint moonlight saw a figure by the window, thin, trembling, her face half hidden by shadows. Mom? His voice cracked. The figure tilted its head, whispering, Come home, Danny. Her eyes glowed pale and hollow, her lips cracked but smiling faintly. He screamed and ran. But every door led him back into the same room. The phone lay in the center of the floor, ringing again. This time, he didn't answer. He smashed it with a hammer. But even broken, the ringing continued. It wasn't coming from the phone anymore, it was coming from inside the walls. He pressed his ear against the plaster and heard her voice again, clearer now. I called to say goodbye, but you never answered. Daniel broke through the wall in panic, pulling chunks of plaster until he hit something soft. He froze. There, inside the wall, wrapped in plastic, was a decayed hand holding a phone. His own phone. The call came again, vibrating in his hand. The name still said Mom. He threw it, screaming. But the hand moved and grabbed his wrist. He fainted. When he woke up, the house was silent. The phone was gone. The wall was untouched. For a moment, he thought it was a nightmare, until he noticed the muddy footprints leading to his bed. On his pillow was his phone, perfectly cleaned, screen glowing. One new voicemail. With shaking hands, he played it. Danny, it's time to come home. Then, silence. Followed by the sound of dirt being shoveled. Again. Again. Then the unmistakable sound of breathing behind him. He turned slowly. And there she was. Pale, wet, soil dripping from her dress. Her mouth stretched into a cracked grin. "You never answered my last call," she whispered. The light flickered. And everything went black. When the police found Daniel's house the next morning, the phone was on the floor, still ringing. No one answered. The number on the screen read, "Unknown caller." But when they checked the call log, the last call had come from a buried phone, one registered to his deceased mother. Days later, they buried Daniel next to her. But the gravekeeper swears that every night at 2:13 a.m., the same phone starts ringing underground. Some say it's the mother calling her son again. Others say Daniel finally answered, and now he's the one calling back. And if you ever get a call in the middle of the night from someone you've lost, whatever you do, don't answer. Because sometimes, the dead don't want to talk. They want company. Even now, somewhere in the dark, a phone rings. A name flashes. And someone, somewhere, picks up.